What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 29. One more away from 30. Woo!
Oh, what? 29 Mondays.
Yeah. All kinds of Mondays. Oh my goodness. Yes, indeed.
Yep.
I was just adjusting. I had like a cable, and I'm like, do not knock a cable out. Okay. Yes, Monday energy we bring you on this show for sure.
Happy Memorial Day to all of our U.S. viewers. I hope that you also got this Monday off. It still has Monday energy, but I hope that those of you who had it off were able to relax. Happy Monday to all of our non-U.S. viewers. We love you just the same. And hopefully you have a state holiday coming up where you can take a day off and relax.
Yes, we got
U.S. doesn't get many of these.
We do have a live chat going, so if you're in the live chat, join us and chat with us. Hello, John Knight, konnichiwa, Carrie, and Katie. Hello, konnichiwa, right back at you.
Hello.
And then, yes, thank you for waiting. Rob Adler says, you're finally here. I've been waiting. Thank you for waiting.
I bought a mattress today. That's where all my energy went.
That does take a lot of work to get done. Yeah.
That's one of those, like, that's where it is. Everything else is gravy. So, like, why is Katie off? Well.
Well, yes. And we also got Giga Derek. Howdy, everyone.
Hey.
Hello, howdy. Yes. All right. And then, boom. Okay. Wait. There. I was like, where did our names go? Here we go. Yes, I am Carrie. Happy to be here. And then, like I said, live chat. Thanks for being here. And then we're going this way.
Hi, all my buddies. I'm Katie.
It'll be early, but wait, no. It's like this. It's a thumbnail thing. Too far. You're going into the upside down sideways. Yes.
For the people actually watching Stranger Things, and I'm out here like, that sounds nice. I heard all the press releases about who the villain is. That's as a critter, that sounds wild. Everyone's like, what does that mean? Doesn't matter. Don't need context.
Then I got my Boba Wars. This is a fun shirt I found. Yeah. Oh, Straw Wars. And I was like, this is so fun. I saw it at a convention. I was like, I have to get that shirt.
And that's pretty good for being right after Star Wars Celebration Anaheim. Yay, and I have my Pink Mercy shirt.
Yay.
Per usual. Good old, And then the design that was made as a fundraiser for breast cancer research. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It was a few years back, but it was a whole big thing.
Yeah. And we got happy belated birthday, John Knight. My birthday was 3 days ago. Happy belated birthday.
Happy belated.
So we are going to be talking about anime. Obviously, that's probably a big reason you're here. We got some anime news for you. We're going to be talking Spy Family. Katie's probably going to talk about Overwatch.
What? Where is the probably in this? The only time I don't talk about Overwatch League is when Overwatch League is off. So there will probably be a week in June where that doesn't happen because there's usually a week between tournaments. We should probably also cover some of the stuff that came up during Star Wars Celebration.
There's that too.
Maybe do a little brief. Did you watch Obi-Wan?
No, I have not yet. I was watching Stranger Things, and Obi-Wan was on my queue of what to watch. We also do a little unboxing,
spoiler free,
all kinds of things.
Double unboxing, little brief, maybe little brief spoiler free review of Obi-Wan.
Probably. Said with sarcasm.
Yeah,
probably.
She's probably going to talk about Overwatch. I'm wearing the shirt.
Yes. Also, throwback. Thank you again to Francis, who joined us last week. If you missed that episode, go check that out. It was really fun to have as a guest on the show and talk about Spy Family as well as figures and fun stuff.
She was a delight.
Yes.
Absolute delight.
All right. So I would say, news will be our non-anime news. We had Star Wars.
Things we're excited about. No, things we're excited about is our news. Our news banner is for when it's news that we're not excited about.
I keep trying to throw news in there, and it's like,
no. News is boring. Things we're excited about.
Yes. Things we're excited about.
Star Wars.
All kinds of nerd stuff happened recently. But
yeah. Where I feel like there were three different. There was MomoCon. There was an anime convention up. I don't know. Northern California. I honestly cannot remember. It might have been Fanime or SAC Anime. It was something. We had another
There's
one in
conventions
California
and
this
also
weekend.
things coming to streaming, so it's like
Yeah.
a lot
And
going on.
then the big one that a lot of people were talking about this weekend is, of course, Star Wars Celebration Anaheim. And oh my God, you guys, so much stuff. We're getting Bad Batch Season 2. Obi-Wan actually dropped several hours early. So for me, it was, all right, I'm going to watch the first half of Critical Role per usual. And then instead of waiting until tomorrow and dodging spoilers until I can see it, they dropped it at 9 p.m. Pacific. And it was like, thank God, let's go. So we have the first 2 episodes of the Obi-Wan series available on Disney Plus. We also got a trailer for Andor, the new series about essentially pre-Rogue One stuff. Involving, I believe his name is Cassian Andor. I'm just cash dumping names, but it's good. I think we saw a little bit of Mon Mothma in that trailer, so that's exciting. It looks like it's going to be fun in the same style of Rogue One, where it's, instead of focusing on the Jedi and that political thing, like all of the Jedi politics and everything that goes with that and Force users, it looks more like we're going to be focusing on espionage, sabotage, rebel works on the ground in much the same way that Rogue One did. So I'm very excited for all of it. For those of you who have not yet watched Obi-Wan, this is a short spoiler-free review. Dump everything that you thought you knew about the show, because except for Ewan McGregor's in it, and it's about Obi-Wan. That's all you need to know. They introduced a few things that I was not expecting, and it turned into a show that I cannot wait for the rest of it to drop. I am super excited. The dynamic between characters is absolutely beautiful. I want to know more about our villain. I want to know more about the third sister, who is she's looking to be one of our main villains for this show. We also have the Grand Inquisitor and I believe the fifth brother. I think that's who that is. But the third sister is looking to be our main antagonist for this show, and I'm very excited.
Do you know how they're dropping episodes? Because for they dropped the first 2
weekly.
It's kind of the get ready, and then weekly. Okay.
I think the first 2 was it's Star Wars Celebration weekend. We're giving you the first 2 at Con, because they'd also planned on dropping them on midnight Pacific. And then at 8 p.m. Pacific, the official Star Wars account tweeted out, hey, so we're dropping them at 9 instead. And God and everyone lost their minds. And I can't believe that Disney Plus didn't crash. Like, I thought it would. I remember the days of Netflix crashing every time they released a highly awaited series. This is incredible to me that didn't happen. But yeah, I highly recommend Obi-Wan. There are people saying the first episode is stronger than the second. I preferred the second episode, but I always kind of like things that other people don't. That's my life. Again, I can't say too much without spoiling it. The series is not what you think it's going to be. It is very interesting to get that interim for Obi-Wan in between episode 3 and episode 4, because this is that long stretch of what was he up to, what was his life like. I just walk into it with an open mind, sit back and enjoy it, because we're 2 episodes in and I am having a total blast. And I need more of it. I have enjoyed every character they've introduced so far, whether it's been a good character and I love them, or that's a villain and I'm enjoying hating them, and also please tell me your backstory. All of it. Just all of it. So very enthused.
Finish.
Just very enthused, very fun. Highly recommend. You don't have to know literally everything about Star Wars lore to be into this. You can have just seen the movies and you'll enjoy it. If you haven't seen the movies, you will be confused. But aside from that,
yes, that's always good to know. I was going to say, I was like, is it a tangent? A little tiny bit. I'm like, wait, baby tangent corner. A Star Wars funny thing that just happened today. I was with my cousin for a little bit and my friend, and we were talking about Weird Al, going to be seeing him live soon. And we were explaining what are some of the top songs. And my cousin is early 20s. And she's like, who's Weird Al? And my friend and I were like, okay, let's explain. Like, you probably know who this is, but maybe you're like, it's a concept. Like, it'd be someone who's like, I've never watched Looney Tunes, but I know who Bugs Bunny is. It's the same idea. Like, it's a pop culture thing that you should know. And so I was like, all right, what are some songs? And then I'm like, the first show I saw was when it was the Anakin.
The story begins.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have that shirt. And I was like, that was my fun throwback. So anyways, that was fun timing today and thinking Star Wars and going back in time. So that was my mini little tangent. But
I feel like his latest album release was like 2015, Mandatory Fun. Something had to have come out after Mandatory Fun.
I like this. Giga Derek said, just walk in, pour yourself a drink, scream Kenobi, and have fun.
I think I'd disturb the neighbors, but I will definitely do those other 3 things. I do my best not to upset the neighbors. We have thin walls and they put up enough for me as it is.
They had, I had a few friends who were there as attending the convention, and I remember seeing like memes or puns that was like, hello there. And then I saw the clip when Ian McGregor walks out, and I'm like, oh, okay, I was getting it. Because then I saw a montage video where they got everybody saying that, and I was kind of like, I don't get it. And then I saw the performance thing. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yep, that is a thing. It's fun. It just, I was a little too fried to be able to make it myself, but it's always a good time when Star Wars Celebration comes to town. People are very excited to be there and very excited to see other Star Wars fans. To my understanding, you don't get a lot of the gatekeeping that sometimes you get in certain communities online. So yeah, it's Star Wars Celebration. It's a good time.
I like it. Yeah. I was going to say, other things we're excited about. We're always excited about new anime coming out. Yeah, new on Crunchyroll for June, though technically some of these start coming out on the 31st. So even more.
This week. This week.
Yes. And where to go? These subbed and dubbed options coming out too. So May 31st. So right away tomorrow, we got Psycho Pass season 1 and 2. Hellsing
both
Unlimited.
Versions.
Yes, so you get both. Warlords of, I'm like Sigdrifa. There we go. I'm sorry. Words and things. Stars Align and Shachibato, President, It's Time for Battle are the first round of things right away. We have more coming out June 7th. Katie was mentioning it's new people excited about. You said Super Cub?
Super Cub. I have a friend who he really needed just something nice and sweet and slice of life. And he said that Super Cub is one of the best things he's seen in a while, that he really, really enjoyed. This was a great, like, chill, detox, really nice show.
Those are always good ones. It says, with no friends or parents, Koguma finds solace on a motorcycle. But after befriending a fellow biker, she begins to discover so much more.
Yeah.
I like it.
If you want something completely different, they also have the second season of Ari Ferretta. That's
more coming your way. Yes.
I've seen it described as every 14-year-old boy's DeviantArt OC distilled and animated. So it's very, very in your face about what it is and what it intends to be. And if that's something you're into, awesome. And if that's not something you're into, you may not appreciate it as much.
And then also some of these aren't necessarily new titles. It's just going to be new to Crunchyroll. So in case there's any confusion,
like Hellsing and Hellsing Ultimate have both been around for a chunk of time. And I love the original Hellsing. It's such a wild ride. It doesn't really make sense at the end there, but it's fun.
Giga Derek said, finally saw Banished from the Heroes Party now that it's on Crunchyroll. Very nice.
Yeah. Started nice, and then the world building kind of Ouroboros itself a little there at the end, but still a fun watch.
Then I have John Knight asked, have you seen Psycho Pass? I have not yet. I'm like, I'll admit the art style was not what pulled me in, but I've heard people really excited about it, and I know it's popular, so there's something there. Also June 21st, so further into the month, but I'm very excited about this for people to check it out. Kami-sama Kiss, which I've talked about on here. Season 1, 100% highly super recommend. Season 2, it's a different tone, which is okay, but it's one of those things like when you like a show because it's a certain type of vibe, and either you stick with it because you like it, or if that's what you wanted, that's what you want. But definitely check out season 1 for sure.
Yeah. And then we've also got new dubs for series that are currently already there. So Restaurant for Another World, Katsugeki Token Rambu, a certain scientific accelerator, things like that. So
yes. So
Crunchyroll always Crunchyroll keeping us well fed.
Exactly.
Let's be real. Here is your steady drip of things you love. My one thing is like, so when are you going to bring over The Vampire Dies in No Time? When are you going to bring that over? Give me. I want it. It's not on this. It wasn't on last year. I'm just kind of sitting here going, come on, Crunchy. Please? Please?
You're like, I'm waiting. Yes.
It's very, very good.
Also, more anime coming your way from Sentai. So Sentai is going to unleash the 4th season of Is It Wrong Trying to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon of summer of 2022. So that will be with Sentai. So you could check that out over there. They also have, there we go. I have different emails, so I'm pulling these up. Also, Sentai picks up Boy Meets, Call of the Night. So Boy Meets Vampire anime series. I like that. Like to describe
Boy Meets Vampire.
Yes.
Sometimes that is all you need.
Also summer. So they'll be streaming that. Sentai will be streaming these exclusively on High Dive, which we've mentioned that platform on here. And one more, Tokyo Mew Mew New. Reboot series. So that is quite the title.
Tokyo Mew Mew.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
Also be summer. So check.
So for those of you who are like, but why should I get a High Dive subscription? Your boy Kongming is on there. Guys, you should be watching. You should be watching your boy Kongming. And a number of other things, but really that one. Just that one.
All right. And now, anything else on things inside besides the other big thing we're excited that we got a new banner for it too?
Yeah, I specifically asked you to make this new banner, so I feel like we should go into that.
Boom.
Overwatch League is an anime. This is, for those of you who are like, oh my God, really? You can Google search this. I did not come up with this. This was a meme actually about 2 seasons ago when COVID happened and we had to take everything online and it got a little wild. There were a lot of jokes about things being scripted and who has the script and who predicted this. Did someone get a look at the script? And then Overwatch League is an anime. Look at all of these tournaments. Look at all that. So there's very much, it was a big thing a couple years ago and we're bringing it back because I know that y'all are here for the anime. And I am very much making the pitch that Overwatch League is an anime. It's a sports anime, and it's very heavily tournament-based. Can we get OG Overwatch into the anime too? Yeah, I wish. I wish. We all saw that Doomfist introduction animation, and we all went, where's the rest of it? Where is the rest of it? Give me more. It was amazing. That, please. Overwatch TV show, please. Thank you. Yes. On Crunchyroll? I don't know. Yeah, I know. But yeah, so we're gonna talk. We got 3 things to talk about in terms of Overwatch League today. We are going to talk about tournament arcs and the current one that we are in right now because that tournament starts this week. We are going to talk about light blue teams, and we're going to talk about C9s. And we're actually going to go a little backwards on this one, and we're going to talk about C9s first. It's a little bit of terminology. It's a little bit of inside baseball, but for those who are not aware, Overwatch is an objective-based team shooter. The idea is not to take out the other team. The idea is to complete the map objective in order to win. Capture a point, push the payload, move the bot, something. There's always something you need to do, and there's always something that you can only do if the opposing team is not there. So taking out the other team is a function of completing the map objective. A C9 is what happens when the map is decided when people leave the objective. It's not something you're supposed to do. It's essentially, there is someone who could be contesting the objective, they're alive, but 9 times out of 10, they've just left to go hunt down someone from the other team, left the objective, and then it loses them the map, generally speaking. It's named for Cloud9 Esports, whose OG Overwatch team did it so often that it's named after them. It's not a good namesake. But so we have C9s, and chat really likes to call things C9s when they're not. If a point gets decided because everyone dies, if a point gets decided because everyone is bodily pushed off of it, that's not a C9. A C9 is when you're like, but hunting someone down is more important, and you leave. We've had some pretty epic C9s. The Shang 9 from 2 seasons ago with Lee Jae-gon just hopping off the payload right before it hits the checkpoint comes to mind, to the point where people were calling it the Shang 9 because the Shanghai Dragons were just having a rough time at that point. We had a kind of incredible one this week. The last match we had this weekend, Sunday afternoon match, was the LA Gladiators versus the oh my God, Atlanta Reign. I remembered Atlanta and I forgot the team name, and that tells you his brain just like, I knew it was Atlanta, I forgot the name. It's a very difficult week. C9 is not just trying to win too hard. C9 is having bad priorities 90% of the time, and the other 10% of the time, it's unfortunate. This weekend, C9 was unfortunate because this is going to get a little into light blue teams, but Atlanta Reign lost their Saturday match. They'd already qualified for the Countdown Cup, which is not the, holy cow, the kickoff clash. What day is it?
I was going to say, I wouldn't know the difference, but I bet there are people who do. So
the Countdown Cup is usually right before the finals. The kickoff clash is, we've only just begun. It's only been
makes sense of kickoff, so.
Yes, exactly. Every tournament has a name. I'm telling you, it's an anime.
Yeah.
Atlanta Reign kind of got bullied on Saturday. So Sunday, they're facing the Gladiators. They're getting bullied again because they're oh man. They lost on Saturday trying to do the Reinhardt rush comp, which is not something they're great at. So on Sunday, the Gladiators and their main tank, Reiner, who named himself Reiner because he's a Reinhardt main and an Attack on Titan fan. Yeah, specifically, he named himself Reiner because Reiner's his favorite character, and his main is a huge guy with a shield and a warhammer. So there you go. Reiner rolls out on Rein on this third map, and Atlanta gets in the chat and goes, "Get off Rein." And he shoots back with, "Man up and mirror it." So instead of "get off Rein," it's, "No, you get on Rein and let's go." So that was a beautiful shot chaser. Atlanta, while attempting to take the point, fails, gets zoned off, only gets so far, and the Gladiators are in chat calling it a C9, joking about it. It's not, but it's like, oh, C9, C9. They spoke it into existence because it's their third map when they're already up 2, and Atlanta, when defending the point in overtime, accidentally gets off the point and loses the map and the match with a C9. It's just like, oh, of all the ways to go after the C9 joking in match chat less than 5 minutes ago. Oh, we don't usually get an actual C9 in gameplay. They're rarer than you'd think they would be. So when you get one and it decides a map and a match, it's like, oh, guys, it's a very difficult week to be an Atlanta fan because this is getting into the light blue teams bit. It's an incredible week to be a fan of a light blue team. And our light blue teams in question are the London Spitfire, whom you may have remembered me mentioning are not the best team, doing better, still not the best, and the Los Angeles Valiant, both of whom took a win this weekend over opponents that they should probably not have taken. And this is where we get storylines, because the London Spitfire has been doing their best, and they are also one of the only teams where I believe they're one of the few teams that run the Rhein-May rush comp. Not many people are doing that right now, so not many teams like to scrim against them because it's like, you're running a strategy that we won't use against most other teams. We don't want to use the practice time to play against you, which means that the other teams don't always have a way to counter the London Spitfire. Gladiators damn near gave me a heart attack on Friday, but they did take it against the Spitfire 3-1. Saturday, the Spitfire's tank, Hadi, who is known as a pretty damn good Rein player, gets on Twitter, pokes Atlanta's main tank, Gator, and says, "You, me, Rein rush comp mirror, let's go." And Gator goes, "You're on." Gator did not do well in the Rein rush comp mirror. He's a good solid tank and a good solid Rein player, and the London Spitfire with Hadi on Rein just kind of ran roughshod over Atlanta. They beat Atlanta 3-1. Nobody was expecting London to win. Okay, very few people were expecting London to win. We've seen them improve steadily. They are definitely on their they're in the middle of their improvement montage. They're powering up. They are going to be a contender. And then they took out Atlanta. And Atlanta's thing is they are a middle of the road team, and they have been for years. They beat the people that they're better than, and then they lose to the people who are better than them. They are, generally speaking, out of 12, 13 teams, they generally sit around a 6, which is fine. Gets them into most tournaments where the cutoff is 8, but you don't expect them to lose to teams that rank below them. London Spitfire is like 10 or 11 out of 13, and they just rolled over Atlanta like they weren't there. It was a very rough one for Atlanta. And then Atlanta turns around the next day and loses to the Gladiators with a C9. So not a good weekend to be an Atlanta fan. Great weekend to be a Spitfire fan. Amazing weekend to be a Valiant fan, because Valiant took their first win in a season and a half. More than that.
It's a bit of time.
Yeah, it's last season they've got 4 map wins and 0 match wins. And this season they've been pushing people to map 5s and, really doing their best. They beat the Chengdu Hunters. We thought they would beat the Charge the next time they went up against them, because the Charge are not really doing well. They beat the Chengdu Hunters, who are a solid middle team and not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Like, they are the chaos team. They are contenders. And they are a contender, rather. Overwatch Contenders is the minor leagues. And Valiant took them out 3-1, which also knocked the Chengdu Hunters out of contention for this tournament when they had a chance to be in it. The Valiant of all teams took it from them. And the Valiant have a DPS player named Dia. Dia has been playing in the Overwatch League for literal years. He used to be on the Shanghai Dragons when the Shanghai Dragons had a winning team. We're not talking season 1 Dragons. Like, we're talking, I want to say, seasons 3 and 4. The thing
is Valiant like the Cubs?
I don't know enough about the Cubs to say that.
Is it one of those you never expect them to win and then they won? It's not because they're a bad team?
Oh no, they're not a good team.
Okay.
That's the thing. They were really not a good team last year.
I remember there was some recent Cub wins, but like last few years or something like that, where it was like, oh my gosh, they finally actually won.
Well, the Cubs had
I don't know baseball enough either. I'm like,
the Cubs had a curse for like a century, and it was a huge deal when they won a World Series. Like,
yes, I think I remember that.
Yeah, like I know the bare bones of that, but I don't know the whole everything. But yeah, Valiant, after dropping all of their players and going to APAC, they had a very bad season last year. And this year, we were expecting more, but not much more. And then them coming out, like, we were like, eventually they're going to get a win. They're going to get it the next time they play Charge. And then they turned around and they just upended Chengdu. Like, this week, waking up to APAC results woke me up better than my alarm did. Because it's like, what the hell just happened? What do you mean they reverse swept them? What do you mean they went to a map 5? What do you mean the Valiant won? So it was nuts. But they have a player named Dia. Dia has been in the league for years. Dia has never been in a winning game. He has never... he's been parts of teams that have had winning seasons. But if he is in the game at the time, they do not win that match. This was Dia's first win in the Overwatch League in his years playing this sport professionally, at this esport professionally. Watching his face on camera when they won, when the LA Valiant victory screen came through, just, oh my God. Years he's been waiting for this victory, and he gets it with a team that nobody expects. So good for Dia. Hell yeah. Overwatch League is an anime. Fight me. Look at all these storylines. Look at all these storylines.
I could also
And if you're
imagine
like,
it being anime of like a sports anime. They just
oh,
play,
exactly.
online
Absolutely.
games. Yeah,
Yeah, it
I
is an
got that.
anime. We have a tournament this weekend. It's our first tournament of this season. It is the kickoff clash. We have 4 APAC teams playing against each other, and we have 8 US teams playing against each other. And that's actually going to be on LAN in person in Dallas. I think there are still tickets available if you're in the area or interested in traveling. We have some Buck Wild rivalries happening. And one of the last matches on Thursday is going to hurt me personally as a person because the Gladiators chose the Outlaws as their match. And I'm just going to spend that entire one screaming, no matter who wins, I lose. Like, well, one of my teams is going to do well, and the other one's going to the lower bracket. One fear. But it's definitely going to be a clash of all of these styles that we've seen because we have Dante on Doomfist on the Outlaws. We have a Rhine Rush that it turns out works really well on the Gladiators. We have San Francisco doing whatever San Francisco wants. And let's be real, they're the safe bet to win this. And if they don't, the Gladiators will. I know that Dallas is also a strong contender, but nah, I don't think the Glads are going to lose to them again. I might eat those words. But we'll see. So it's a tournament this weekend. So, stay tuned to watch me lose my entire mind. I've come to enjoy watching Boston get wrecked. Welcome to being a Boston fan. That's just kind of, and Stryker left Boston, so they're down a good solid DPS. Like, it's, I feel like outside of that one time in season 1 where they had a perfect stage, it's just continually been a tough time to be a Boston fan. So, more power to you. I know your pain. I've been an Outlaws fan since season 1. We were not always good. And there is still some contention in some circles as to whether we are good at all, but, I'm having fun. So, yeah, if you have not watched an Overwatch League, it's a tournament this weekend. Hop in, watch some Overwatch League, send me your questions. Even if your question is, why should I care? I will tell you why you should care and also who you should root for. It'll be a good time. Nice. It will be a good time. And everyone else is like, that's more than 10 minutes. Stop it.
I was trying to think of our bridge to, oh, wait, hold on. Giga said they called their shot and lost in a clean sweep.
Again, it continues to be a very difficult time to be a Boston fan. And Boston went up against Dallas on Sunday. And Dallas is not an easy team to beat. Historically and right now.
I was trying to think of you had 1 or 2 things. I'm like, ooh, that'd be a good bridge into our next segment. And I'm like, nope.
And then I kept going.
Oh, wait. Well, then the other big thing that you all are probably here for is Spy Family. The newest episode was very entertaining. We'll save our unboxing and other things you should check out for after this, because I know this is what you all are here for. Yeah. All right, Katie, so how do we feel getting to meet younger brother?
I swear to God, there is one brain cell in that family, and he has it. Yor does not have the brain cell in her marriage, and she does not have the brain cell in her family life.
Yes.
But she's doing just fine.
Yes. God, John Knight, waku waku. Yes. It was interesting to meet the brother, and you understand kind of their family. They didn't do it, but it was getting really close to that edge. It's very close to that edge of how much he likes his sister. And I'm like, oh, I don't want it to be one of those. Please don't be one of those.
I don't think it's one of those, but it's definitely enough. It's close enough to be like.
Yeah, I'm like, where are you going with this? Because it's not sexual. It's just protective. It's, but it's very close to that line where it's like, where are you going to go with this?
They are very closely bonded because it was only the 2 of them.
They had trauma. Yes.
And Yor also doesn't seem to have other friends. She's got her work friends, but let's be real. Her work friends are, they're work friends.
Yeah.
In every sense of the word.
Yes.
They're not going to make the jump to being actual friends.
No, I don't feel she's going to hang out with them.
They don't seem great.
Just because, no.
They don't seem great.
But I enjoyed the brother plot line so much. Yuri coming over and the giant bouquet that's like bigger than the door frame.
In that tiny little vase that the visual comedy cracked me up. It's like, it looks like a whole tree. It's a whole tree in that tiny little.
Oh, and thank goodness Anya was asleep, because I was like, whoo, this is gonna go. I'm like, please don't say anything of like,
yep, our little mind reader.
Yep. Though, are we surprised that he's essentially in the KGB? I'm all, no. We figured.
Of course not. His sister's an assassin. His sister's husband is a
spy.
Why wouldn't he be in the counterintelligence? I have to say, I really liked the bit of Twilight, like asking him, oh, I went there, when I was a med student. Well, what about this and this restaurant and this? Just like knocking off the answers in his head as they're given, going, yeah, this is a cover story that's given for this. Here's what's changed since then. He's in the secret police. I'm just like, yes.
And then the moment before even he gets there that Yuri's like, my arch enemy, Twilight. I'm like, oh gosh, this is going to be like, oh no.
I love it so much.
So that was very entertaining. And I like that. You know what, though? From what little we know of her explanation of I forgot, I'm like,
tracks.
I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. For what we know of her, and he goes, all right.
It helps that, and again, the fact that the narrator said it twice, and the second one just went, okay, It's like, he has a massive blind spot when it comes to his sister. Like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's actually extremely helpful in this situation. Yes. And also, neither of them can hold their liquor.
No.
The screaming and drinking directly out of a large bottle of wine was amazing.
I am glad that Yor is responsible and understands that, and that her relationship with Twilight is respectful, that he can be like, you're not drinking tonight. And she's like, I know, not a good idea. And I was like, okay. Because that can be an awkward conversation when you're with someone which nothing against drinking, but some people maybe do a little more than they should. And they can get a bit more rowdy. And but that can always be an awkward conversation of like, hey, let's rein it in. So, but I like that she's all, yeah, probably not a good idea. I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, okay.
It's like, if I want to keep it the lie, I have to be stone cold sober.
Yes, she's like, oh, and then of course Twilight's cooking's amazing. And I'm like, of course. He's like, eat it up.
I was like, dude, you are wasted as a spy. Open a.
Yes, he should have a restaurant. Yes.
A restaurant.
That should have been his cover.
Restaurateur, yeah. And he's like, no, I just follow.
Because they have weird hours. You can close the business at different times. Maybe you have to go procure specialty items so you have an excuse to leave. Sure.
You spend so much time at a restaurant, though. When you own it, it kind of becomes your life. So not the kind of flexibility that you'd need, I think. No. Plus, there's a big difference between home cooking and line cooking.
That's true.
Just have it. I was a waitress for a few
cooking
years, so it's not like I know anything.
Job, very different.
It's not like I know anything about being a line cook, and I'm not going to pretend to, but I have seen them at work, and it's like, no, this is very different. This is extremely different.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just being a talented home cook because I just followed the directions. Like,
yes,
my dude.
Okay, what did you think of how awkward that kiss would have to be? Because, I mean, Twilight does seem so turn things on, turn things off of like,
yeah,
okay. Like, if I got to kiss somebody, like, okay. But poor yours all getting like
die.
Eyes flat.
Oh my God. Here's the thing,
like,
though.
Wow.
Just given from the little bit that we saw from the preview, Yuri's gonna have second thoughts about this. Yeah, they're gonna get close, and he's gonna be like, "No, I don't want to. Nope, never mind. I don't want to see it. Nope.
I thought they could have pulled that one though too, of like, we as a couple don't like PDA because I'm like, That's fair. There are some couples that even amongst family, they don't want to be intimate or something, or they feel it's inappropriate or just uncomfortable or awkward.
We
That I
don't
thought
do
they were
this
going to play
outside
that
of the
card.
bedroom in case our child wakes up and sees us. Like, she's
Yeah.
still very young.
Like, yeah, we tone it down, but
also neither of them have a relationship brain cell, and this is one of those things where they did not think about it. They did not discuss this. They didn't practice. It's like,
but they did go shopping.
Yeah, sure. They went shopping.
Well, okay, it's also fair that they've only been married a year, because some of those items, I'm like, that felt way too. The toothbrush tooth thing, that was okay, but the bed, I was like, I'm embarrassed for you. Nice. This is so cheesy.
With the pillows that both say yes, like.
But it's first year of marriage. All right, fine. It's still corny items. Sure.
This is, again, another example of Twilight being ill-socialized.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
And I mean, you're as well, but Twilight was the one who bought these things.
I like that they got all embarrassed looking at the bed together. Well, not embarrassed, but they both got flushed looking at the bed together.
Mom and Dad are flirting. No. I want to roll it back a bit. To the beginning we had where Anya was still awake, watching her spy show and doing fractions from that.
That was very smart. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, for one, why are 6-year-olds doing fractions? I feel like that 6-year-old is like first grade, right?
Yeah, I feel fractions is more like
second or third,
fourth, fifth. I don't know. No. Third grade maybe-ish.
I feel like, if they're 6, I feel like it might be a little young to be doing the concept of fraction.
But we had Becky on like the first day of school going, wow, they're hitting us really hard with stuff right away. So maybe it's accelerated learning.
Yeah, just in general, this whole thing. But I love 3/3. That was extremely wrong. Like, I love it. I love it. I love it.
My tired brain went, yeah, that makes sense. And then I'm like, oh, wait, that's not how you do fractions.
And I actually looked at the problem and went, oh, the answer is 1/6. I just sat there and I did the problem and went, okay. Like,
but I was like,
I took 3 calculus. I passed calculus, and I had to take a minute to sit here and do a fraction. No, I don't use it in everyday life, and I do have a calculator in my pocket all the time.
And that's the thing of like, oh man, they tell you. Yes, I'm like, calculator.
I mean, to be fair, back when we sure didn't. But also, like, when are you going to use the quadratic formula in real life?
No, I was like, the only time pseudo fractions maybe could be part of your life is with cooking, and you have to adjust the size of what you put in. But that's pretty easy to adjust. You're not really adding fractions. It's more just like, all right, if it's half a cup, but I want to half my recipe, what is half a cup?
Yeah.
Okay. But I have never used algebra and geometry in my day-to-day life. That's like,
I have at one point done point and slope. I know we're well in tangent here. It's one of those things where being in the grocery store, being like, okay, if I just make this one purchase of this one thing once, like, it's this. And if I continue to make this small purchase for this other things, it's this. At what point is it more expensive to keep doing the small thing as opposed to just do the one purchase? And it was very much a numbers game.
Well,
and at that point, I had not factored in the energy required to cook and do things versus other stuff. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, here's the math for this. Here's where this intersects this. Like, at what point, after how many uses, does this pay for itself? Does this even out? It's like, okay. I did actually stand there and kind of do the math in the grocery store, and then I went, I'm buying it anyway, whatever.
Well, I would say, the parallel on that though too is do I want to buy $10 shoes, but they'll only last me a year, and spend only $10 right now, for example, $10 shoes right now, and they last me a year? Or do I want to spend $50, $60 shoes and they last me, 5-10 years? The thing is, yes, it might be better for the longevity product, but if you don't have that $50, $60 right now, then the smaller one, because I've done that with not necessarily food stuff. I've definitely thought that of like certain items of like, I'll pay my $15 right now, and I know it only lasts me like a few years because it's only the 15 right now, and then I'll deal with it again in a while. But anyway, leave a comment down below.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. That is a Discworld thing, actually. And all y'all who are in chat, I need you to Google the Sam Vimes theory of economic unfairness. And it is literally about boots and cost and quality. And it's just this paragraph. We've talked about this.
Yes.
We've talked about this. Discworld is amazing and you should all read it.
Yeah.
Pick a book and go. It's great.
I did have a conversation with someone I knew one time, and they did do an investment of like $200 for a pair of boots, but they are their favorite boots. They've lasted them forever and they've never had to repair them. So I'm like,
yep.
But that's the other thing of finding said quality product too, because that's a hard find too. But anyway, yes, leave comments down below what you like to do, and then math stuff, because I do love that. When I was in high school, it was like my mom's like, you gotta do math because you gotta do it later, and I did not.
I took calculus in high school, and then I never had to take another math course again. Test it out, baby.
I was gonna say this could be a longer tangent, so we'll hold this off. But we'll
let's not talk about doing calculus in high school. Yes. Let's never talk about doing calculus in high school. Let's go back to Spy Family.
Spy Family,
and so, that cute little scene. That cute little scene of Anya getting the fractions correct. Only because it pertains to Bondman, and then cutting to Anya reading the latest volume of Bondman and Twilight reading the first one. And I'm like, you are learning to parent because you have figured out that if you can make it interesting and pertaining to the things that they like, they will retain more.
Yes, that's like trying to learn it as a song, like Animaniacs singing the song of like the countries. Yes, make it fun, make it entertaining, and or something the kid cares about, or adult, and you will remember it much more than if you're like, oh, I just have to memorize this thing.
Yeah, as opposed to just cramming it directly into your brain.
Yep, that was definitely very cute and like, aww.
It's like you are learning to parent the hard way, mind you, but you're learning. Yes. Especially after the meeting with Handler and like, oh, it'll only take her about 4 months to become
we need this quicker.
And Twilight's just like, sure it will. And her calling him out on, I see your ability to lie has diminished. Like,
when have you met my kid?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Have you met this child?
He's like,
if you met this child, you would understand.
Yes. And now they're definitely too invested. It's not like they could start over or anything either. So it's like, well, we have to follow through.
And it's also too late in the school year to get another agent and another kid. Like admissions have passed. We're done.
That was kind of the main meat of the episode. Was there anything else that stood out to you?
Yeah,
I was like, that kind of felt like it was it.
It was just a ton of Yuri losing his mind subtly and not so subtly. And it was pretty damn great.
I like it as a child. He never seemed to question you're coming home with blood all over herself.
Yeah. I mean, questioned it once and then like, oh, I guess this is just normal now. She comes home covered in blood, but then she brings things. And she says it's okay, so it must be okay.
It's like, and it's not mine.
Oh, child. Oh, child. Oh, honey.
Yes.
Yeah. What a great well, you know, very loving family, very compassionate, very much cared about each other. A lot of concern.
Yeah.
Very concerned about everyone. Everyone. Just very concerned.
Yep.
Growing up in a war-torn country.
Yes. And I'm very curious to see next what Yuri's going to do and how they can keep this up of a relationship. Yeah. Oh, I did love that Yuri's like, well, who cares if he's like smart and handsome and really nice and a good cook and
fine.
Well, we'll see if he's worthy.
Just because Twilight's like, I'm perfect in every way. And Yuri's like,
yeah, it's like a little like sparkle. Yeah, he's like, damn it. He's like, why
is he you can't bribe me with your cooking. You can bribe me with your cooking.
He's like, yeah. So I'm curious to see where that goes, and I'm hoping it goes well.
Yeah. Like, I mean, again, We know this is a long-running series. We know that the jig cannot be up. We know also that it's a comedy. So everything at play here, like we definitely have dramatic elements. We are trying to stop a war, but everything at play here, 90% of it is played for laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't play making Anya cry for laughs. We don't play, like, there's a few things where it's like, oh no, this is drop dead serious right now. But that serves to heighten the comedy. Because we have all the found family stuff and we're taking that very seriously. This is the emotional core of the show. We have the occasional, like, oh, this is a tragedy. Oh, this backstory. Oh boy, are you okay? So there's enough. No, this is dead serious. No, this is the part that will make you cry or make you step back and consider things. But that really just heightens the comedy, heightens the situational madness.
Yes.
So it's an incredible balance. This is, like, spy comedies are spy comedies. There are a lot.
I like that it's spy comedy without being spy goofy, which nothing against spy goofy, but I like that this is not that. Like, Austin Powers is like goofy to the extreme, which I do like that, or at least I did when I watched it way back when. But I like that this is fun and silly.
And we all kind of had spy versus spy on our periphery as well. So there's a lot of different ways to execute a spy flavored comedy. This one balances dramatic elements with the comedy, balances action with it. This is so incredibly well executed. Like, this is why this is so popular right now and why everyone loves the manga so much and why it's so many people's here's the ones to watch this season. Like, because it's so good.
I would also add that it's funny in the sense of, too, I feel some of those other spy goofier ones are something about the individual is less intelligent. Like, our characters don't understand things, but that doesn't mean they're any less intelligent. Like, they just don't understand social things and whatever. But so many movies and shows, it's almost as if the spy is like, you know,
how did you get to be a spy?
Yeah, you're like, I don't get it. And like, that's part of the gag of like that they're still able to do so much. And so I like that this one, no, they're smart. They just don't get some certain social cues because of the interesting lives they've led, which I'm like, all right, that makes sense. I can follow along. Let's see where it goes.
And it's that balancing act of, I'm keeping a secret, so I'm not going to dig too hard into your stuff because I don't want you, Uno reversing that.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
So it's an incredible balancing act. Again, it doesn't matter what your premise is, you have to execute. This is executed so well.
Indeed. And I'm like, nope, no good pun to transition. Our other exciting thing, I'm like, unboxing. Yay, because we're always excited for unboxing. I'm like, here, let me readjust. Got my wee.
Because the both of us have boxes. You go first.
Okay, so we got show off our pretty boxes. We got
pretty boxes.
Yay!
That's the thumbnail.
First, we'll start with
Japan. On Twitter.
Shout out to Japan Great. Thank you very much for sending. This is the June box. And I'm like trying to hold this up precariously and not drop anything.
It's always a little hard to do that sometimes.
Yes, because I have definitely done unboxing videos, which side note, if you go to my Instagram page, look back, there's some unboxings where it's like, let me try to hold this and not drop stuff.
It just cascades into your lap. Like, oh, okay.
Oh, I like this fun. That's cute. So they have the first page which says the what's in this month's crate. And I'm like, oh, that's fun. So June is a downpour of snacks. Here comes the rainy season. Oh, that's so cute. And they have photos, which you can submit your photos, which is cute. They also they promote Sugoi Mart if you want more a la carte items, like if you like something in particular. And these are all the yummy goodies. So the big one that I'm generally excited with, we have our beverage.
Yes, what's the drink?
The drink is Hiyashiyame drink. Hiyashiyame is a refreshing summer favorite. Pardon me if I said it wrong. Sip it chilled or with lots of ice to fully enjoy its syrupy ginger flavor.
Ooh.
I'd be curious to try their ginger because ginger in the States I like ginger in food, not as much with drinks ish. So
see,
I'm
I
curious.
love a good ginger beer.
Like a ginger ale?
Like a ginger beer.
Oh, a ginger beer. Yes.
It has ginger beer, generally speaking, has more
Yay!
bite.
Yes. Yeah. That's fair. It's not my first choice, but I'm very curious to try. And
Well then, I'll try it for you and let you know
yes,
how
if you
it
like,
goes.
Katie, let me know.
Yes, dibs.
Okay, they're in the bottom. Our bonus item, as
Big old Kit Kat.
Yes, it is our Kit Kat.
Alrighty.
This is a holiday thing, I'd say, around here.
Oh,
we have
those.
chocolate orange flavor mini Kit Kats, the entire bag. If you love Kit Kat, then you'll surely love these. This Japan exclusive flavor features the perfect blend of smooth milk chocolate and zesty orange. Eat the whole bag yourself or share them with friends. The choice is yours.
I've had those. They are amazing.
Yeah.
They are amazing. They taste like, those chocolate oranges that you whack and open up, it tastes like that. They are,
cool.
They're incredible. They are so good. And if they're in season, then I need to place an order at Sugoi Mart and get a bag of my own because
because I would say this is normally here at our end of the year, December time, but I like it now. I'll tell you.
If they're in season now, get some now. Like, seriously, they're real good.
These are really fun. They have like a DIY candy, which I think is fun for yourself and relatively younger because it's pretty much like add water, stir. Yeah. And so those are always fun. This is DIY slime jelly experiment. I'm like, that's cute. And let's see. I'm trying to grab some big item. Oh, wait, what's this one? Ooh. Simi Choco Cafe Latte.
Ooh.
I was like, ooh. So it's back with a limited edition cafe latte flavor. Coffee's bitterness and chocolate sweetness makes a great combination. I'm like, all right, come on. Let me give it. Get used to my ASMR.
Like, Just say, I know some people love ASMR, but like, hoy.
It's a little star.
Good stuff.
I got a whiff of coffee. It was definitely like open. I'm like, it's coffee.
It's like, hello.
It's nice. It's very subtle. It does taste like you're eating a latte, pretty much.
Fair.
Because it has the little, these are two stuck together. But I dig that of like, it tastes like you're eating a latte. And then one more I'll just show you real quick because they do have a lot of these kind of treats, but this is a new one. Chewing? I was like, wait, is this the right one? Yeah.
It's something.
Yeah, so let's look at the picture. Here we go. Because I was like, it doesn't feel like it's a chewy one, but maybe it is. All right, so this one is Chewing Cola. Relax and unwind with this cola-flavored candy. It contains GABA, an ingredient that calms your mind and body. Very intriguing. I would
chill
try that.
Candy.
I'm like, all right.
Chill candy.
Well, because sometimes cola-flavored ones, I'm a little more like...
ambivalent.
A little bit. Then I like to share it with people. And then...
Fair.
Throwback memories to early days of meeting Japan Crate. They have the Fuku Thai chocolate. So this is the fish-shaped snack that has the chocolate filling inside. Yeah. Way back when, there's a fun video of me eating these at Anime Expo that I'm like, these are fun.
It's taiyaki, isn't it?
Yeah, it's yeah. But this one they call it Fuku Thai chocolate. So, yes. So thank you, Japan Crate.
Thank you, Japan Crate.
I'm like,
beautiful.
Seriously, show everybody. Yes.
Especially with that taiyaki right in front there.
I'm like, nice, bright colors. Alrighty. And then Katie, you had something as well.
We have I will make this work. We have the May Sakura Co box, guys. Guys, I love Sakura Co. I love these boxes so much. As always, they have I've been kind of calling it the elevated snack box because it's a little less candy focused and a little more a tea service sort of focus. As you can see, we have the lid. Nice to meet you. Let's have tea. Every box does include tea in it and then the sort of snacks and spread that would come with it. It always has some form of postcard that has art. I'm also doing the trying not to tilted and
drop everything.
Tilted like a bad gamer. We always have a little postcard that has art and a message from our lovely Sakura Co humans. Absolutely beautiful. Please stay. We have, of course, our booklet that tells you everything that's in there. This month, we have a lovely little set of chopsticks coming
cute.
with it. They always have something like this in there. It just depends on what the month is. Last time's was a little Sakura bowl, which was absolutely adorable.
Mm-hmm.
But we have all sorts of like panettone. We have crackers. This theme is matcha. So most things in here are going to be matcha flavored. So we have crackers. We have, it's mochi. Oh, it's little matcha mochi.
Yay!
Oh, they had the Sakura ones last box. They're individually wrapped. These are really good. I love these. Lost my mind for the Sakura ones. This was my little resubscribe bonus, so I have a nice little teacup in here. You can see it says bonus. Yeah, we have crackers. Little crackers. We have a little matcha pie. We have pastry, and if you look in here, it's hiding down here actually. These little buns down in the corner. Here we go. This little bun down in the corner. Yeah. They're little pull-apart buns. Oh. They're like mifoy wafers. And this one is, of course, matcha flavored. But they come in all sorts of different flavors. I tend to pick these up from Little Tokyo or order them from Wii when I do orders. They are very, very good breakfast ones. And of course, I'm sure I will have the actual like matcha tea hiding in here somewhere. They have, again, more matcha. This is what I do. Everything goes everywhere. It's a disaster.
Right, you can put it down in your lap and pull something up.
Yeah, but this
fun.
Yeah, I love it. I love everything so much. There's so much stuff in here that I have not even gotten to. These boxes are jam-packed. They are always full of so many sweets and cakes and pastries. And I like candy, but I'm not always the biggest candy person. So for me, the Sakura Co box is just really where it's at because it's more pastry and cracker and snack focused. Like, I love this. Of course, there is matcha tea
all your bases with these two.
Yeah. You can very much, if you wanted to have a nice little tea service for two, there's usually two, there's usually 2 tea bags in here, so you can make 2 cups of tea. And then you can just unwrap things, set them out on your nice dishware, and have a nice little tea service for 2. Nice. Or you can do what I do and eat things individually like a gremlin because I love them so much.
Or what I like to do is you eat it yourself, and I like to share it. Like, it's an easy, like a care package that I like to send to family, and especially like younger cousins. Speaking of all the candy, younger cousins, that's a great one. I asked one family member, I'm like, hey, do your kids like candy? Because it's one of those, some parents don't want to give their kids that much candy, which I'm like, I get it, totally respect it, whatever. I don't want to like send you something and you're like, no. And they're like, they love it. I'm like, all right, I got some stuff for you.
Yes. So this was the May Sakura Co box. This is one that you can no longer get because it is the end of May. However, they have already given us June's theme, which I don't remember off the top of my head, but you can pre-order for June. They've got all sorts of fun stuff in there. Like, again, I love Sakura Co boxes. I love the tea centered stuff. I love all of the little snacks and pastries that you get with them. Like, this is my jam. So thank you, Sakura Co, because this is good stuff.
Yay! So then now, thank you for staying with us through the show. We'll go through some of our recommendations kind of quick here at the end. One, Stranger Things, probably if you're already familiar with that show, know it dropped the other day. I just watched it, like literally just finished it before the show of what's available. So it's 9 episodes, but only 7 are available right now. And then 8 and 9 come out in July. So my recommendation is either you're going to watch through it and blaze through it and you got to wait, or maybe wait a little closer to July, because the way it ends, it is like fudge. I got to wait.
I've heard that the episodes this season are all variable lengths. So I'm assuming that 8 and 9 are going to be, I'm assuming 8 and 9 are going to be on the long side to wrap things up.
The last 3 are feature length, because 7 was like an hour 40 or something like that.
Dang.
Like it was at least like a 90-minute kind of thing that it's like, and all the episodes are at least like an hour plus, pretty much like hour 18. Like, so they're meaty episodes. But yeah, if you're a Stranger Things fan, it's available. I finally saw Doctor Strange. I did really enjoy it. I would say it's not as horror as I was expecting, but knowing you said it's horror and you're not the same enthusiastic for horror, I was like, okay, yes, I see exactly what you're saying. But when you're on like the further end, I'm like,
Yeah.
But yeah, stylistically, yes, like
Extremely Raimi.
Yes, and I love that. I thought that was super fun. I would argue that it helped to have watched the What If series because there are you don't need to. It is not required, but there are concepts that are addressed in it and characters that it's like, oh, cool. Like again, not required, but it was cool to watch it and would recommend with What If. Stick with it because like and it's very heavy. It's very heavy.
What If is kind of depressing.
It's
And
very depressing.
when it came out, it was difficult to watch week to week.
Did you get to finish the end? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we finished it, but I definitely had people warning me. Okay. Yeah, the ending
does help, but like the first two are like really great, and then it's like, oh shit, this is dark, and then it kind of wraps up well at the end.
The last 2 episodes of What If bring in everything that you'd seen in the series. The last 2 episodes of What If really are a wrap up of everything you've seen. And if you skipped any of those episodes, you'd be a little lost in What If. That said, given the time that What If was coming out, given the time of year, given when it was happening, I could not take week after week after week of downer ending. So it was a rough one.
Teeny tiny thing, which is very true. And so, yes, not required for Doctor Strange, but it was helpful. And 100%, you should definitely watch Wanda because that's where we leave off where Wanda is mentally and emotionally. That if you skip that, like I was talking to my friend, she's like, I haven't watched it. I'm like, no, you need to because then otherwise you won't get any motivation. But I was going to say getting there. It got really heavy, then Party Thor, and then heavy again.
Yeah. And then even the ending of the Party Thor episode was like,
there's some weird, but I would argue at the end when everything pulls together nicely. Okay, so then rewind. Stranger Things. We do talk about content warning on this show of letting people know. They did put up a content warning at the very beginning of I get why it's there, but it is intense at the very beginning of how it starts, and especially with current recent events.
Yeah.
Just know that it's probably an extra layer of intensity and for most people and but they filmed it over a year ago that it's not associated with anything. It's important per the story and it's not like real life events, but I can definitely see the parallels of how that is a lot. So just a heads up that bit is intense at the beginning. So we'll just say that. But yes, on the lighter note, Doctor Strange is cool. Back to that. Kenobi and soon, and because that's probably my next one, and throwing it over to you.
Again, highly recommend Kenobi. Just talking about content warnings, the very first bit of the very first episode is actually a flashback to Order 66, and there is a content warning before that because of recent current events. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, this happened in the canon, but what specifically is depicted in in the beginning of this episode is like, oh, that's relevant. So just be careful on that one. And for those of you who are making the drinking game, maybe do a drink for every time Katie recommends something that has a content warning, because the recommendation for this week, I have 2, because once again, I'm not really consuming many new things, but this is a new thing. It's a webcomic called Broken. It is absolutely fascinating. The art style is amazing, and they do a lot of work with GIFs, with animations. Like, they're really, really working with the medium of the webcomic to depict what they want. It is a war story in a fantasy world, so it's fae and homunculi and whatnot. And when we talk about mind the content warnings, there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of death, there's straight up war crimes. Like, it's kind of a dark story, But the reason I'm super into it is because, one, I have very specific character types, and this story hit me right in the character types. And those of you who see me yell about my favorite characters kind of know what that means in terms of war stories. And it also hit me in the favorite tropes. And I'm a big found family person. It's like, oh, we have a lot of that. So it is a very intense story. Definitely mind those content warnings. There's definitely a few things in there where I went, oh, okay, that happened. It's more of it's a war story, and it's also kind of a horror story. Okay. There is a whole corruption thing going on. There's definitely some body horror in some places that are like, oh, that's a nice surprise. Oh my God. So yeah, it's called Broken. I will throw the link up because it's one of those links where it's broken dot and then the platform name.com. I will put that up on my Twitter. I really, really love it. It updates a page every Sunday. This week's drinking game was done with a seltzer CBD beverage. Drink responsibly, everyone. We cannot recommend that outside of states where it's legal. So definitely drink responsibly if you are able to drink, and if not, then
side note, leave a comment. Where are you watching from?
Yeah,
I'm really curious of where people are watching. We've talked about time zones. We've talked about other regional specific things. So let us know where you're watching from.
Yeah, but if you are going to drink, drink responsibly and drink within the legal bounds of your geographic location and age range. We're not going to recommend anything that you shouldn't
don't
be
get
doing.
In trouble.
No, I don't think we can recommend don't get in trouble. Don't get caught is not a good
for legal purposes. This is a joke. I like when people have done that on things. They're
like, do we need that as a lower third?
Yeah.
For legal purposes, this is a joke. The lower
Connecticut,
third.
yay!
Hey, so you're up late.
Yes. All right.
Thank you. But yeah, definitely read Broken. If you're like me, you can get through everything that's been updated in a day. If you're very much I need to know what happens next person, mind the content warnings. It is beautifully done. And if you join the Patreon, like I did pretty much immediately after finishing it, there's a whole bunch of other beautiful, ridiculous side content in the Patreon, including one of those, I've only had this character for X amount of time, but if anything happened to them, I'd kill everyone in this room and then myself. The Brooklyn Nine-Nine Rosa Diaz meme. Yeah, that. It's great. It's great. You should read it, but only if you are able to handle the things within the content warnings. It's definitely not going to be for everyone, and you might want to look for a page version without GIFs, etc. if you are prone to seizures, because there's definitely some flashing stuff going on in there. I love it. I think it's a great use of the webcomic medium. I really love how they have used it. It's absolutely incredible. But you may want to look for a clean version, which I think they have a version that doesn't do the flashing, the GIFs, etc. If you just want to read for content.
Got John Knight saying, I'm watching from North Chesterfield, Virginia.
So you're also up very late.
Yay, welcome.
Yeah, a bunch of night owls in this chat.
Yes, I like it.
You guys. And my other recommendation is a mobile game called Warriors of Waterdeep. It's turn-based dungeon crawl, very, very D&D. Like, that's the lore, that's the characters, that's the everything. It's all D&D stuff. You need to have an internet or a data connection to play it. You can't play it offline. But I've really been enjoying it. I first played it at D&D Live in person 3 years ago. They had a beta up and they were kind of testing it with people. I don't usually go for mobile games like this. I love Warriors of Waterdeep. I am really enjoying it. I have become attached to these characters who have no voice lines and only little bits of lore in the equipment. And yet here I am going, these are my favorites. This is my party that I'm running with. It's not a balanced party, but they're my favorites. If you've seen me stream, I have streamed this more than once. I'm probably going to go back to streaming it because it's just a fun little game to play. Great monster designs, fun little animations. It's a turn-based dungeon crawler. It's a blast. I enjoy it quite a bit. So that's Warriors of Waterdeep. That is available to play for free on your mobile app store of choice. If you do decide to play, let me know. I have a guild. Join my guild. It'll be great.
We got watching from Holmes County, Ohio, the frozen hell swamps of Amish country. All right.
Welcome.
Welcome.
You are up not quite as late as everyone else, but still up late. Central time zone in Ohio, yeah? Yeah. Yep.
It's like, yeah, time zone. I'm like, I'm not sure, but yes.
Pretty sure Ohio is central.
Yeah.
Because it ain't mountain.
We're late-ish going into we go late on this show, which thank you for watching. If you watch live, thank you so much. And if you're watching it later, no worries at all. Comment down below on the different topics we covered. Again, yeah, where are you watching from? We talked about how much do you use math stuff in life, and
and
also
other
things. So leave those comments.
And also watch the kickoff clash for Overwatch League. They stream it live on YouTube, and then tweet me your questions if you have them, or just chill in chat because chat is insane.
It's Eastern
Ohio's
Standard
in
Time.
Eastern. You're up late too.
One state over. Yay! Oh yes. Thank you for staying up late or watching whenever you're watching again. Katie, where can people find you online?
You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. Like I said, the Twitter is going to be a little wild this week. It's the first tournament. It's going to hurt me. Let's go. Overwatch League is an anime and we are in the tournament arc. Having fun.
Yay. And now we can see your shirt better, which I feel you've worn this one once before.
I have.
It's a nice,
good shirt. It's a great design. Yeah.
Yes. Excuse me. And you can all find me online. There we go. Carrie D Lane across all the social webs. KARIDLANE on my Twitter. I shared the link. I just had a recent interview. There's a new sci-fi play coming to Hollywood Fringe Festival, and so you should check out my interview. That's with Dia TV, and the guests are the playwrights, and they're acting in it and directing. They do a whole bunch of different things, and so check that out. And yeah, just make sure to, on this channel, of course, give the video a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and then we'll see you all again next time. All right, bye.